Trump and Xi Jinping this is incredibly dangerous what they are doing. And if they don't come to terms very soon, the world could have a gigantic problem. We know this playbook. We've had tariffs before, the Smoot-Hawley tariffs, and I believe that was 1932. Then in 1933, we nationalized gold, and in 1935, gold went from $20.67 to 35. So the dollar was devalued from 1/20th of an ounce of gold to 1/35th of an ounce of gold. Well, this time we're going to be doing the same playbook. So we know what that playbook caused before. It caused the Great Depression. We're going to be going from 1/42nd of an ounce of gold to 1/5000th, 1/10,000th, 1/12,000th of an ounce of gold. So it's a much, much larger devaluation. At the same time, probably going back to some monetary system that isn't, where exchange rates become fixed again, where international, So there we are, that spike at the end. That is one of the rare moments in history where you have the ability to buy silver this undervalued compared to gold. Yeah, so there's, well, you know what? When we click on this longer term, so what's the peak there? Is that 120?
That's 122, and that's back in March of 2020. So the COVID shock, the ratio hit 122.
Yeah, and that was basically silver falling much further than gold fell. So silver fell down to like $11 or something then, and I added about a third to my position during that fall, and so I've done very well on those purchases. But even at these prices, I still think there is a long way to run, and I am probably going to be, I may for the very first time sell some gold and buy silver. That might be a very good idea.
Yeah, so going back to that question we had a second ago of could the gold-silver ratio hit 150 or 200? I mean, of course we don't know, but if you look how fast it shot up to its all-time high of 122, just a week prior, it was under 100. In a week, it shot up to 122. So, if there is some other shock like a COVID shock that either causes the price of silver to go down or all of a sudden gold gets revalued overnight or something like that, this ratio could spike and jump very, very quickly to like 150. No guarantees. Obviously, we have no idea, but it's certainly possible.
Yeah. So how do we get the message out to the general public? Because the one thing I wrote, I think, at the end of my first book is I don't want to see all of the big whales win and end up with all of the cookies. The whole mission of GoldSilver.com was to try and save the middle class. I didn't care about getting the whales nearly as much as getting the small investor and protecting them in times like this. And, the book came out just before the crisis of 2008, and the people that followed that over the next 2 years, real estate fell by half, and gold by 2011 had pretty much tripled from its bottom. And so that means that if you'd sold, when the book came out, if you had sold a home and bought gold, you could have then sold that gold in 2011 and bought real estate and ended up with 6 times more houses. So you're talking about a gain in absolute wealth of a factor of 6. Quite amazing, actually. And it's just numbers. They're not my numbers. They're just numbers that are out there.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have another question from Slingshot 2004. Do you believe the new monetary system will be crypto-based or some kind of paperless money? What are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, like I said earlier in this program, you could take America's gold supply, which is our gold, not the treasuries or the Federal Reserves.
It's the people's.
Yeah. And if you're backing Federal Reserve notes, basically, you could, it is a CBDC at that point, which I don't like the idea of. But you could give every nanogram a serial number, and gold can be the world monetary system again. And the U.S. has the most of it, of any country. And so, it's possible to do these things. What would happen with the shock of a transition so dramatic? I have no idea. But we have the range of possibilities is a nasty dip and then great prosperity on the other side, and then a global depression or even a modern dark ages. I mean, it is an enormous range of possibilities. I don't know. If Trump is successful, it'll be good, but he has to be successful very soon. He can't keep everybody in limbo like this. This has got to be crushing global GDP. People are putting off expenditures. Businesses are not making moves that they were planning on. They're shelving ideas, products, imports, exports. Everybody is holding their breath to wait and see how this plays out. And so Trump and Xi Jinping this is incredibly dangerous what they are doing. And if they don't come to terms very soon, the world could have a gigantic problem. But for the gold investor and the silver investor, I believe that they are more protected than everybody else. And through life, you can only do the best that you can. That's it. And so we don't know what's coming our way, but for me, this is the best that I can do. I've been getting ready for this. My first gold purchase was October of 22. And I've just been buying all the way up, writing about what I saw coming. The Mar-a-Lago Accords, I didn't call it that in my book, but it's in there and I've been, in 2009, I started reporting on something that I called the end of the global dollar standard. And we're very close now. So there's going to be some monetary shift, and it won't be the same global dollar standard that we have currently. And it isn't going to try. The current administration will get blamed for whatever chaos we go into. But it is actually the energy that is somebody sometime has to stop the insanity and just take all of the pain that's built up. And Trump doesn't have anything to lose, other than his reputation. This is his final term, and so he can't run again. So if they blame everything on him, that's just the way it goes. But it is the responsibility of every president, from President Nixon through to today, actually going back even further, and the responsibility of everybody at the Federal Reserve since 1914, when they opened their doors for business.